Steve's going to give us some opening comments, and then we'll take questions for everybody. We won't do it like the NCAA where we go student athletes first, but if you would raise your hand and I'll get a mic. And then at that point, I trust you all can pass it along to each other without me standing in front of the TV.
Just a lot of thank everybody for coming here, supporting our program, supporting what we've got to do at national championships this weekend, and we'll just take any questions any of you guys may have, or gals.
Houston, just talk a little bit more about the people you have going and your thoughts about them.
I mean, one of the, and I don't know this for a fact because I hadn't looked at the numbers, and we've probably had more total number of athletes going to the meet before in that we've had more relays going. This is probably the most events we've ever contested at the same national championship, which is exciting. And kind of one of the neat things about the group we've got taken, we've got throwers going, jumpers going, multis going, middle distance, sprints going. So we've got every area covered going into the meet, and that's pretty exciting. We kind of have a saying about, you know, you got bullets in the gun. We got a lot of bullets in the gun going into this battle, so that's going to be fun. I think the way that our team is set up for this national championship is to kind of use a baseball analogy, you're going to have some teams that are going to go into the championship. They're going to be kind of punch and judies. They're going to try to manufacture runs, so to speak. We're kind of home run hitting team. That's kind of what we are. We're going to score some big points in some events. I mean, we've got a lot of people going in that they've got chances to win, and that's exciting.
Brandon, you won a title in 2014, came up a little short last year. How much is that kind of driving you going into this year?
It's really motivated me throughout this whole entire year. I look back and I actually learned a lot from last year. I'm very thankful that I was able to go through the hardship that I did last year because it definitely molded me into the athlete I am now. So, yeah, you know, it really has motivated me.
This is for Kania. Just talk about your experience last year, how it helped you going into this year, and you kind of know Eugene and everything that goes with it. Just talk about how much that experience will help you this time around.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go back to Eugene with so many people and the support from everyone. And I mean, I think it helps me a lot because I went there already last year and the year before, so I know what's going on and how it works. And last year didn't make finals, so this year I really hope I can make finals and score some big points for the team.
Steve, how much have you kind of seen what Brandon did last year has kind of motivated him this year, and obviously these last couple of weeks going into this championship?
Well, I mean, number one, the rest of the world looks at last year as a failure because he didn't win the individual national title. You know, so many times this year we runs 1:44.63. Everybody's going crazy. It's the second, third fastest time in the world or ever in the NCAA. And all of a sudden, everybody saying Brandon's back. We were kind of looking around wanting to know where he went. He ran the fastest time in the country last year. He just didn't win nationals. When you've got environmental conditions that play a role as well. When you have 40-mile-an-hour headwinds, you've got to race a different style, and when it's strategic like that, a lot of times the best person doesn't win. But you still have to look back on it and learn and what we've got to do in preparation to make sure that let's go ahead and prepare for 30 and 40-mile-an-hour wins and make sure we get strong enough to where we can race any style and still win. Now, am I sitting here predicting that there's going to be a win? No, but I can promise you that. Brandon's going to give 100%, win, lose, or draw. He's still the fastest 800-meter runner in the country because I don't think anybody else is going to run faster than 1:44.63. Maybe they will at Eugene, but probably statistically that's not going to happen considering this has only happened twice. So I didn't look at last year as a failure at all, but we did look at it as a learning experience. We did a lot of different things indoors. Didn't race them 800 meters indoors. Again, you get criticism for that too, but what was best for Brandon McBride and what was best ultimately for Mississippi State was to do some different things indoors and train a different way and not really race the 800. So he's fresh now, which obviously going to help us, hopefully 10 points. He comes back, he's strong for the 4x4, and he's still going to be strong for Rio and the Olympics as well. So, which again, he's a product of Mississippi State. That helps Mississippi State.
Did you see him do anything different this year? Or was he just doing the same thing you've been doing the last couple of seasons?
I hope we never do the same things. We're always going to change. We're always going to learn. If you're not evolving, you're getting behind, I promise you. Training was, certain phases of training was significantly different. Probably 4 to 5 more months of extra strength work. You know, of course, if I say strength work, the rest of the world is probably thinking we got in the weight room, pounded out the weights. Not that kind of strength work. Strength work of actually being able to hold a semi-fast pace for a longer period of time, so to speak. In other words, not doing all-out speed for a long period of time. He's not had a whole lot of speed compared to maybe some of the other years. It may look like he has because he's running fast, but he's fresher and still has more weeks and months to go to where he's going to run even faster.
Can you talk about that extra strength work, Brandon?
Well, you know, coming into it, I was coming into this year. We focused mainly on 4s and 8s, and so it was a big step up for me mentally and physically to be able to log in the miles that I needed in order to grow and to put in the volume every workout and whatnot. So it was very, very tough, and it took a month or two to get used to it, but after a while, it just became routine and whatnot. And as you can see, it really, really helped us in the long run. I mean, we ran a couple of 1500s, and I've never done that before. We had a little bit of success at that, and it all added up, and I'm just very, very thankful that it's all working out.
Erica, for you, kind of in a similar position you were last year coming off of an SEC championship, how are you feeling? What's similar? What's different?
What's different this year is that I'm actually competing in 10 events at Nationals. So I made it in 4 events, the open hurdles, high jump, long jump, and then I have the whole help to do. So coming in this year, I'm not expecting nothing spectacular, but I'm going in with a clear mind. I'm ready to compete. I feel like I could win, but it's going to be a lot of competition there. Like, all the best people are there, so hopefully I can come out on top. If not, I have other events I can try to come out on top into. So, but I'm more excited to have my team there. Like, it's like way more people going this year. And then I'm excited to see Marta run again. So, last year she fell and all that. And she kept running with a broken wrist, so I was like, man, that's crazy. But I'm just really excited to see her perform this year.
Erica, on that note, I guess outside of the competition point, but just sort of personally, this kind of, your last hurrah for college competition, what does that mean to you going into it?
My last competition, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, I did what I had to do since I've been here. So, I feel like I represent the school well. So, hopefully I can continue on. My goal is to make the Olympic team, and then after that, go professional and keep going. So, that's it.
Steve, you kind of mentioned a little bit, but what does the success of Erica and Brandon do for the program, whether individually as a team or anything like that?
Well, I think there's a lot of different areas. The obvious area is looking at the points scored, but that's not really the biggest impact that athletes like Erica, Brandon, and all the ones that's on this stage. When you're an athlete of these athletes' caliber, their work ethic is second to none. Their discipline is second to none. So that sets an example for your other 80-some-odd athletes as well that, hey, if you want to be as good as these athletes, you have no chance unless you work as hard as them, if not harder. You have no chance if you're not watching every morsel that goes into your mouth. You have no chance if you're not staying hydrated. You have no chance if you're not taking care of your body. You have no chance if you're not getting sleep. And there's so many things that they set the example for the others to see that this is what has to happen. And then when you get to the meets, they get to watch how they handle the moment, how they warm up, how they handle the pressure, expectations. You've got athletes on the stage that's already won an NCAA title. The first one you can come out of nowhere and win, but after you win one, there's an extra 50-pound sack of potatoes on you, okay? So, and I think these athletes can tell you that as well. So being able to block that out and do what you know you're capable of doing, the other athletes can look at that and learn from it. From an international exposure, you know, they leave here and go other places and compete. They may have Portugal, Germany, Canada, U.S., whatever jersey they have on, maybe underneath that jersey, they still have the Mississippi State jersey on, and people know that and say that. And you know, even several years ago, we had, I believe it was the British Virgin Islands had one representative that carried the flag into the Olympic Stadium. It was Dion Krabby. They said his name and said what university he competed at. They didn't really say anything about the country, the flag that he was carrying. So they definitely can take that on and help us as a program and a university as well.
Marta, talk about how you're preparing for your event going into the finals.
I feel like I'm working with a really talented team. Like all my teammates, they're really talented, so that helps a lot, especially like in the winter when you need to build a lot of mileage. And then in the last part of the season, we just do more sprint stuff just to make the last touches to go to the track and do great.
On that Olympic note, I'm not sure which of all of you have plans for it, but those of you who do, if you could kind of, all of you, okay, yeah. If y'all could just kind of all talk about what it means to, you know, have that chance to possibly represent your country and be on that, you know, the biggest stage there is.
Oh, well, for me, I mean, it's very exciting. I made the past 2 world teams, and hopefully I can keep that up. And with my training, I feel like I definitely can get top 3, and I can make the Olympic team. I mean, of course, it would mean everything to me, but it would mean more to my family because they all feel like I'm already on the team. They don't know much about it, like they don't know about tryouts and all that stuff. But of course, I'm just really excited about it. It's a great year, and I've been waiting for this for so long. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's always exciting to represent your home country, especially now since I'm here in the U.S. I'm representing Mississippi State, which is really cool. But I've competed for my country at like junior and senior world championships and European championships. So it's always nice to like represent your country. But then on the other hand, it's always nice to have some teammates also going there with like their country uniform. And yeah, it's just really, yeah, I don't know.
I think like going to the Olympic Games is the ultimate goal for everyone that do sports. And I don't know, like, I feel like we're all really blessed to do something that, I don't know, we can potentiate ourselves to do something that's born with us. So I feel like that's why I feel like all of my teammates, they're all really good friends of mine because every single day we go to practice and we fight for our dreams. It's not only goals, like going to the Olympic Games is not my goal, it's my dream. Like, it's all what I want to do. And of course, like, it means a lot going for international teams. And I don't know, last year I went to European Championship and I met Cornelia and Rianne there, and it was kind of funny because we were all in different colors, but we are all there for the same goal, is being the best that we can be. And I don't know, I feel like it's really cool when you are in a team and there is a lot of people that have born with a lot of potential, but they're also like really hard workers because I look at them every single day working really hard in track and off track because all of them, they're great students and great athletes. And I don't know, it's just really good when you're surrounded by a good team and good people. It's not only teammates, they're also like good persons. I'm sorry guys, but I just can't stop talking. And I feel like that means a lot. So of course, like if I could make on the Olympic team by my country, which is like a really, really big dream. And I think I've never been so close to that. It's gonna mean a lot and it's gonna be awesome. Put my feet in Rio and look at my teammates in different colors. So I'm really looking forward to do that.
Just to add on to what my teammates were saying, I mean, I guess it's every athlete's dream. It's the highest stage an athlete can actually compete on. So it just means so much to me. And I mean, it's always nice to compete for something that's bigger than yourself. I mean, whether it's Mississippi State or it's a whole nation, you know, I really take pride in showing children and younger people that anything's possible because a lot of people have seen me at my highest and at my lows. And, you know, a lot of people have counted me out at a lot of different times. And I just like to, you know, I take pride in looking into the eyes of children and being able to tell them that anything's possible, you know, that just because you have a bad year, it's not the end of it's not the end of the world. You know, you can still bounce back. I've done that a few different times, So it just means so much to me that I can be somebody that children look up to and can say, well, he did it, he bounced back, so I think I can bounce back, so it means a lot to me.
Steve, can you just talk a little bit about what you've seen from Erica the last couple of seasons and just how she's progressed and matured?
Well, something different this year that we haven't actually talked about is she didn't do indoors because she didn't have indoor eligibility left, which I think goes kind of the way it is with Brandon as well. I believe she's fresher. She may be doing more events here at the NCAA championships, I think +1 compared to maybe last year, but last year she started competing in meets in January. January all the way to middle of June is very taxing mentally and physically. And then obviously this year being an Olympic year, it goes on into July and even August. So you have to be extremely smart. Instead of training harder, you train smarter to make sure that you do have all the athletes in position, and we've tried to do that with Erica. There was several years ago where we planned it the way we did, where we redshirted one outdoor and ran the indoor, knowing that the Olympic year we would redshirt or not run indoor and compete in her last outdoor so that she would be sharp for the Olympic trials. You just can't make those decisions at the last minute. That has to be planned years and years in advance, and we did that. I'm not quite sure. I think all the events she's probably better right now in than she has been. If you look on paper, maybe she hasn't run quite as fast in the hurdles, but she ran real close to it at regional, so she's starting to catch fire even in that event at the right time. Her javelin's gotten way better. An event that, she used to dread going into, but now she don't. Now it's an opportunity. I can't wait to get to the javelin because I'm a lot better than a lot of people in the javelin now. So, and all the other events have definitely got better. That has came obviously due to hard training, but also maturity and getting stronger mentally. I think the best of Erica is still out there. I think there's no doubt in my mind. I feel like she feels that way as well. I know this team knows it. Some people may say, why are you doing so many events at the NCAA championships? And the way the schedule is laid out, it makes it to where it can be done, and B, Erica's a tough person. Like she said, she loves the teams being there. If Erica didn't feel like she could do it, she'd tell us and we wouldn't do it. But she's a great athlete. She's a strong athlete. She was born and raised in Mississippi, and she's mentally and physically strong. She played in the yard. She didn't play video games her whole life, so she can do all those events. If the rest of them don't feel like they can do the rest of the events, maybe it's because they played too many video games. But I know she can handle it, and she knows she can handle it too. So,
Erica, you just talk a little bit about how you've improved in the javelin, because obviously it is a really tough sport, and I guess in Mississippi you just don't see it that often.
Well, I started the jav my sophomore year in high school. It was only during the summer, but I never really cared about it because my other events made up for it. So coming into college, I didn't know how to throw it at all. Like whenever I get to the jab, it would be where I didn't get a lot of points in, and everybody would catch up to me. But then I had a good 800 to balance out the rest of the points. But the javelin, it took 4 years. I didn't get good at the jab until this year. So I don't know. I came a long way. A lot of practice, a lot of hours. I switched from coach to coach, and that probably affected me mentally because I had one person telling me something, then another person telling me another thing. So eventually I stuck with one coach, and then we got it together. And then I know one day it just clicked, and I just started throwing it. And then I know I just got way better. So I was excited about that.
Is there a secret to the javelin, or is it?
No, I don't think there's a secret, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just takes a lot of technique. You really have to know what you're doing. And I just watched a lot of videos, and I just tried to get everything together. And then just one day, I was out there, and I was throwing it, and then everything came together, so that was it.
have you ever played golf?
Yeah.
Is there a secret to golf?
There's a lot of secrets.
Just
Houston, can you just talk about the distance with Marty and the strides that they've made
Sure.
to get to this point?
Yeah, we've got 4 distance girls going, and all of them have a really good chance to do well. Over the last couple of years, that group's obviously gotten a lot better. And quite honestly, Cornelia has probably been the main building block that it's been built on. Probably an example, we have a freshman steeplechaser that has run crazy fast for a freshman this year. She's going to nationals as well, and Cornelia's probably been her best coach, more so than me. She just does what Cornelia does, and she's become incredibly good. But that group, I can't sit up here and explain to you or tell you how hard they work. You need to come to the track and follow them around for about a week and see what's put into it, because it's unbelievable. You can talk about eating right, sleeping right, and all this stuff, but it goes way, way further than that. They do extra stretching, extra preventative stuff. I mean, I don't know how many hours they put in a day on their own on working on flexibility, working on preventative stuff. It's unbelievable. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Marta, for example, is very finicky about what she eats pre-meal. She brings all of her food with her to the meet until she's done competing, and then we'll go eat chili cheese fries or whatever in celebration. But that's a joke, because she'd never eat chili cheese fries. But it's that kind of mentality. And it's not that eating in a restaurant is going to make you, but she's scared she might eat something that would upset her stomach. So she's not taking any chances. That's the mentality that that group and everybody on this stage has. And the other thing, though, and is when Cornelia and Tony went 1-2 at regionals, probably the best moment I had at the regionals, and we had athletes winning and doing great, was Marta standing next to me, and as soon as they crossed the finish line, she breaks down crying because she was so excited that teammates, and Cornelia was expecting me, and Tony was kind of expecting me, but she really made it. That's what this team is. And it's not just her. I'm just using her as an example because she's standing next to me. But that's what this team is, and that's why we've got so many people going.